Risk management concepts. Being able to be repeated controllably is one key element in risk management. Toba Beta, master of stupidity. Risk is part of lives. Risk, as defined in the American Heritage Dictionary, is the possibility of loss. Risk management is the process of identifying and assessing risk, reducing it to an acceptable level, and ensuring it remains at that level. Risk management concept. Terms: asset, asset valuation, vulnerability, threat, threat agent, exploit, risk, exposure. Countermeasure: risk appetite, attack, and breach. Asset and asset valuation. An asset is any resource, product, process, system, or other thing that has value to an organization and must be protected. There are two types of asset: physical or tangible assets and intangible assets. Physical or tangible assets are equipment or computers that can be touched. Intangible assets are information or intellectual property that hold value to the organization. Assets should be documented. Three basic elements used to determine the value of an asset are initial and maintenance costs, organizational, or internal, value, public, or external, value. Initial and maintenance costs is a tangible dollar value that may include purchasing, licensing, development, or acquisition, maintenance, and support costs. Organizational, or internal, value is difficult and intangible value. It may include the cost of creating, acquiring, and recreating information, and the business impact or loss if the information is lost or compromised. It can also include liability costs associated with privacy issues, personal injury, and death. Public or external value is difficult and often intangible cost. Public value can include loss of proprietary information or processes, as well as loss of business reputation. Organizations will also factor value of the asset to adversaries. Organizations will factor cost to replace the asset if lost. Organizations will also factor operational and productivity costs incurred if the asset is unavailable. Organizations will factor liability issues if the asset is compromised. Vulnerability. A vulnerability is a weakness. Vulnerabilities can occur in software, hardware, or personnel. Examples of vulnerabilities are a data center without proper backup power. Threat. A threat occurs when vulnerability is identified or exploited and is a potential danger. A threat is a negative action that may harm a system. Threat agent. A threat is carried out by a threat agent. Exploit. An exploit is when a threat agent successfully takes advantage of a vulnerability. Risk. A risk is the probability that a threat agent will exploit a vulnerability and the impact if the threat is carried out. Risk is expressed in terms of the likelihood and impact of a threat event. Exposure. An exposure occurs when an organizational asset is exposed to losses. Countermeasure. A control countermeasure or safeguard is a tactic, mechanism, or strategy. Countermeasure reduces or eliminates a vulnerability. Countermeasure reduces or eliminates the likelihood that a threat agent will be able to exploit a vulnerability. Countermeasure reduces or eliminates the impact of an exploit. Risk appetite. Risk appetite is the level of risk an organization is prepared to accept. Attack. An attack is any event that violates an organization's security or privacy policies. Breach. A breach is an attack that has been successful in reaching its goal. Senior management must commit to the risk management process.